Doctors told me to expect forgetfulness and slow decline. I looked at them and said nothing, because at 66, I remember names, phone numbers, and the smell of my first coffee like it happened yesterday. I am not bragging. I am telling you what 5 small daily practices did for me after I turned 60. They rewired how my brain wakes, how my mood steadies, and how I move through the day. I will show you exactly what I do every morning and why you can start tomorrow. The first thing I do is a 90-second movement before my feet touch the floor. It is simple, tactile, and immediate. I feel the cotton of my sheet under my palms, hear the soft creak of the bed springs, watch the light through the curtain paint a pale stripe across the wall, taste a hint of mint from last night's tea, and feel my ankles roll awake. It signals to my nervous system that the day will be active. Researchers at the National Institute on Aging note that gentle morning mobilization improves circulation and balance in older adults, and that tiny, consistent inputs change outcomes over months. I learned this after waking one winter and dropping a mug because my fingers felt numb. That embarrassing morning made me promise I would not let stiffness define me. You do not need gadgets, you need consistency. Stay with me and I will walk you step by step with simple language and exact timings, and at the end I will share a bedtime habit that helps my brain repair while I sleep. The first full ritual I teach is the in-bed mobilization. I lie on my back and speak to my body as if it were a friend. Wake up, I tell my hands, and I move each finger like tuning a small instrument. Now the ankles, says Maria, and I smile because she has watched me do this for years. Are you sure this will help? Maria asks with a half laugh. Yes, I answer, and you will see. How long will it take? Maria asks again, rubbing the sleeve of her robe with her thumb. 90 seconds, I say, feeling my breath as a slow tide. 90 seconds seems nothing, she says, but you look different when you do it. I feel different the rest of the day, I tell her. Our voices are low, the room smells faintly of jasmine from the diffuser that Rosa gave me. The sheet is cool against my skin, and the light is soft and forgiving. I extend my arms like a cat stretching, rotate my wrists until the subtle click of tendons answers, roll my ankles and flex my toes. I can hear a distant kettle start in the kitchen, the neighbor dog bark once, and the house settling in the way old houses do. The movements are deliberate, not exercise, a signal. Dr. Jenkins once explained in his office with a measured voice and a clipboard in his hand that the first blood flow to the extremities in the morning primes proprioception and reduces fall risk. His office smelled of coffee and paper, and he tapped a statistic from the Mayo Clinic study on morning mobility. That conversation felt clinical then, but now it lives in my morning hands. This tiny ritual stopped the cascade of stiffness that used to steal my focus by mid-morning. Next, I prepare what I call the golden sip. I stand in the kitchen where sunlight pools on the counter and the wooden grain feels warm beneath my palms. And I mix a cup of lukewarm water with half a lemon, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and a small pinch of black pepper. Priya taught me the proportions, Ellen watched me learn, and Marcus once said it smelled of sunshine. I stir with a wooden spoon, and the citrus scent rises, bright and clean. I cup the mug, and the warmth radiates to my fingertips. The taste is faintly bitter, then tangy, and the aroma sharpens my attention. Does that really help? Marcus asked the first time, eyebrows raised as he balanced on the step stool. It calms digestion and lowers inflammation markers, I answered, remembering a Frontiers in Pharmacology review that summarized turmeric's anti-inflammatory effects and the role of piperine in absorption. Show me how you make it, he said, leaning in to smell. It is simple, I replied, and the consistency matters more than the quantity. Studies referenced by the British Journal of Nutrition and notes from the Mayo Clinic highlight hydration and certain phytochemicals as supportive for cognition and gut health. The golden sip became a ritual that marks the day and steadies my stomach. When I skipped it during a trip to Boston, I noticed my focus fray by midday. That sensory memory of citrus and warmth is now tied to mental clarity. If you have ever jumped out of bed and felt fuzzy, you are not alone. I have been there too. If you have ever wondered which of these habits you could start tomorrow, take a second to answer. If you have ever woken slow and wished for a single, replicable change, write in the comments which habit feels easiest to try. Will you try 1, 2, or all 5? Write the number or just say, "I will try." Your simple comment helps others who doubt if small steps matter. When you share that you tried the golden sip or the 90-second wake-up, someone else will see a practical, real example and feel permission to begin. Your words become a map for someone else. I read every comment, and I pay attention to names like Sam, Priya, Rosa, and Marcus, who often share what they adapted. Now let me show the walking practice that turned my casual stroll into medicine. My third habit is a daily anti-inflammatory walk. I step outside and the air bites gently. In the early hour, dew beads on the grass and I can see each blade glisten. David, the neighbor, joins sometimes, and we trade small talk while our shoes press into the gravel with a steady, muffled rhythm. "Mind if I join?" he asks, breath visible in the cool air. "Please," I say, feeling the texture of my socks and the way my calf muscles respond. "How fast should we go?" he asks, listening to the crinkle of leaves. "Not fast," I say, "just deliberate. Breathe in for 3 steps, out for 3. "Counting works," he says, smiling. "I always lose track," I reply, nodding at the bird song above us. "This is my prescription," he says, pointing at his chest jokingly. "And mine," I answer. The path smells of cut grass and coffee from a nearby cafe. The light hits the maple leaves with a metallic sheen, and the cadence of our steps becomes a meditation. The British Journal of Sports Medicine reports that moderate daily walking improves inflammation markers, mood, and executive function in older adults. I learned the hard way when I stopped walking for a month after an illness, and my sleep and memory both suffered. Walking is not exercise theater. It is a gentle prescription I write for myself and for friends like David and Ellen. Breakfast is habit number 4, and it centers on protein and steady glucose. I sit at the table where the bowl is cool against my palms, where the texture of yogurt and the crunch of walnuts meet, where the toast smells toasty and golden. "What are you having today?" Sam asks, dropping his school backpack with a thud that vibrates the table. "Greek yogurt, a boiled egg, and some berries," I say, tasting a berry that is tart and explosive. "Looks fancy," Sam says with a grin. "It keeps my muscles and brain fueled," I reply, feeling the protein settle warmly in my belly. Priya, who reads nutrition studies for fun, once texted a link from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, showing higher protein at breakfast supports muscle mass and cognitive performance in older adults. The mouthfeel of egg yolk, the crunch of seeds, the faint floral perfume of honey, and the hum of the radio make a breakfast that lasts in my focus. Rosa used to bring over muffins that disappeared into foggy afternoons. I learned to trade fleeting sweetness for slow energy. When I swapped a pastry for protein, my afternoon haze lifted within weeks. Habit 5 is a 3-minute mental tuning practice that connects emotion and clarity. I sit in a chair that fits me, feel the fabric under my fingers, listen to the household settle, close my eyes and trace a calm image. I breathe in, counting to 4, hold for a beat, release to 5. I picture a blue door I painted in my 20s, and the smell of oil paint comes faintly to mind. Dr. Jenkins recommended mindfulness exercises and cited work from Harvard Medical School showing regular brief practices alter neural pathways linked to attention. I used to meet calls with jagged anxiety, making sharp decisions that tired me. After 3 months of 3 minutes daily, I noticed fewer reactive emails and more thoughtful replies. Marcus and Alan began doing it too, and we check in over tea. "Are you calm today?" Ellen asks sometimes. "I am practicing," I say, and that admission itself softens the edge. There were tense moments. One night I woke disoriented and could not find the kitchen, and panic fluttered like trapped bird. I sat down, breathed slowly, and called Dr. Jenkins. He reassured me and adjusted a medication. Another time, I skipped my golden sip for a week, and my joints announced the neglect with stiffness that lasted days. These small crises taught me how fragile progress can be and how easy it is to rebuild by returning to simple routines. To recap, the 5 daily practices that kept my mind young after 60 are brief morning mobilization, the golden sip of warm water with lemon and turmeric, a 15-minute intentional walk, a protein-rich breakfast, and a 3-minute mental tuning. None are expensive, none require equipment. They require patience and repetition. Try one of them tomorrow morning. If you want a guided video showing the exact movements and the recipes, write "I want" below. If this story moved you and you want more step-by-step routines and interviews with experts like Dr. Jenkins, Priya the nutritionist, and Marcus the trainer, consider subscribing to follow along. Remember that aging is not a slide into loss. It is a practice of choosing how we live each day. Keep practicing, keep asking, and save room for the bedtime habit I will reveal next, the one that helps my brain repair while I sleep.